If you're thinking about buying a new construction home in 2025, then you are absolutely going to love this video. Now, I know when you're in the market for a new home, first and foremost, it's so easy to focus in on the price tag. I realize this. Every time I release a video that shows a big price reduction on a new home, those videos always get a lot of views. But unless you're paying cash, there's something far more important that you need to consider: your monthly mortgage payment. So in this video, I'm going to show you why the cost of your new home is driven more by mortgage rates than it is the absolute price of the home, and how builders are using this to their advantage with some incredible financing incentives. I'm going to dive into mortgage calculators to break it all down. We're going to check out the latest offers from a few of the popular local builders, and I invite you to stick around until the end, where I'm going to share my insider tips with you that will help you secure the absolute best possible deal on your new construction home. So let's get started. Hi, this is Andrew with the Andrew Smith team, eXp Realty here in Frisco, Texas, and I specialize in helping buyers just like you find the builder and the community that best suits their needs. And I get calls all the time from people asking me, hey, we're in the market for a new construction home, but prices are sticking higher than we wanted them to. Which builder, which community is offering or is most likely to be willing to negotiate on price? And if you've seen any of the other videos I've put out recently or in the past, you'll note that I often say mortgage rates move the needle in terms of affordability much more than home prices do. And I'm going to demonstrate that to you today by sharing a mortgage calculator and letting you see exactly what difference changes in the rate make as opposed to the ultimate price of the home. So let's take a look at that. All right, so what we're looking at here is a mortgage calculator, and I'm going to show you, just explain what the parameters are. So for this example, I'm assuming a home value, a purchase price, if you like, of $800,000. And for this example, I'm going to assume that 20% down is the down payment. So $160,000 down leaves a loan amount of $640,000. And for a mortgage rate, an interest rate, we are using 7%, as that's roughly where rates are as of this recording. And you can see that based upon those parameters, your monthly payment would be $4,257 a month. So basically $4,258. And most commonly, rather than looking at the mortgage rate, people start looking at the price. At least that's what I found. They say, well, if homes would come down, they'd be more affordable. If that price would drop, affordability would improve. And yes, that is true to a certain extent. So let's take a look at this. Let's assume that's the case. Now, in this particular example, we were able to get the price of the home $50,000 lower. So instead of a purchase price of $800,000, we now have a purchase price of $750,000. Everything else remains the same. Down payment is still 20%. So the loan amount here is going to be $600,000. The interest rate is still 7%. So as you can see here, the payment dropped to $39.31. So if we go back and look at that just for a second, so we went from $42.57 down to $39.31. So we've saved here around $260 a month by getting that price of the home down $50,000. But take a look at this. Many of the builders right now are offering mortgage rate buy downs. You may have heard a 2-1 buy down, or you may have heard money towards purchasing your rate down. And rather than looking at the price, the builders are attacking the mortgage rate. Here's why. So if we go back here, let's go back to the $800,000 purchase price. Still 20% down, so we're still at the $640,000. So 800, 20% down, $640 on the loan amount. But now we've brought the mortgage interest rate down to 4.99%. And I'm going to show you why I used 4.99% in just a minute. Take a look at the payment. We now have a payment of $34.31. So we've saved just over $800 a month at the higher purchase price by reducing the interest rate. So again, that is why I've been saying the interest rate moves that needle much more than the price of the home actually does. And again, the builders understand this. And it's why you've probably seen online ads or you're seeing different things out there talking about interest rate buy downs. This is why the builders are in a position to do that. And it's actually the way that they have kept sales moving over the past year. Most of the builders in the DFW marketplace had a pretty strong year in 2024. And it's because they had the wherewithal to do this. Well, one, they had the inventory. Resale sellers have not returned in full, although it's starting to improve. So the builders in our area are the ones that had all of the inventory. And they've attacked this very aggressively because they know if they can help the buyer out with regard to that mortgage rate, they're able to reduce that monthly payment, which makes it much easier for the buyer to make that decision and commit. So let's go ahead and take a look at what some of the builders are offering right now. All right, first up here is Landon Homes. And I'm going to tell you right as we start, you're going to see a very consistent theme as we move through this. So here we are looking at Landon Homes. And right now, Landon Homes are offering 4.99% interest rate on select inventory homes. And it is in the form of a 2-1 buy down. So what exactly does that mean? It can really get confusing when you're trying to compare these different types of programs. So in a 2-1 buy down, what it's referring to is the first number, the 2, is referring to how much the rate is essentially being bought down. The second number is the term of the buy down. So in a 2-1 buy down, the rate is being bought down roughly 2% for the first year. So what Landon Homes are doing there is they're going to have a program where the rate's probably 4.99% in year 1. For year 2, it could probably be 5.99%. Then in year 3, it would go back to 6.99%. In a case like that, there's something really important that I want to point out, and that has to do with qualifying for the loan. Now, in the case of a 2-1 buy down, even though the initial rate is 4.99%, if the final rate is 6.99%, you as the buyer need to be able to qualify at 6.99%. So they're going to base your qualification on the final rate, not the introductory rate. And that's something to keep in mind. And it's one of the reasons not all builders are offering the exact same thing, even though it might look that way. So let me show you. All right, so next up here, we're actually looking at Highland Homes. And then for Highland Homes, they're doing something a little bit different. As you can see, year 1 of a 30-year mortgage is at, so rather than 4.99, it's at 4.49, I should say. And then what you can see right over here is that for the remainder of your mortgage, they are going to be at 5.49. So what Highland are doing is more of a permanent buy down. So what does that mean? They're spending more money to prepay the interest on this loan, and you are now getting a 5.49% fixed rate for the life of the loan. So for years 2 through 30, that's it. That also means that the rate that you actually have to qualify for the mortgage on is 5.49%, not 7, but you qualify at the 5.49. The other thing to note about Highland, this is just not on inventory, quick move-in homes. Highland have been offering this, at least currently, on homes that are going under contract now, meaning you're signing a contract on a home to be built. That's really important to consider and think about because, again, not all builders are doing this, and most of them are doing a buy down rather than a fixed rate. If you saw the video I put out last week, you'll know that right now, long term, the projections are that it's going to take a couple of years, 2, 3 years maybe, but if rates get back to around 5.5%, they are projecting, the economists, that that will be about the lowest they're going to go. That will, in fact, be the new normal. So let's continue here. So next up here, we are looking at Coventry Homes. So again, they are offering rates as low as 4.99%. Again, this one here is on select move-in ready homes. So this is not on all homes, but it is on select move-in ready homes. So again, we are seeing that 4.99% rate. Next one up here, this is Southgate Homes. Again, enjoy a limited low-time introductory available on select home. Right now, Highland's the only one I've been seeing offer it on virtually every home. So again, this is on select homes, but there we have it again. A year of unrivaled living, a 4.99% introductory rate. Their APR is a little bit higher. Won't go into all those details right now. So their final rate is definitely not going to be 4.99. It's just the introductory rate. But again, hopefully you can see the pattern. Somewhere in that 4% range, 4.99 is the most common. Now, I'm moving on to Taylor Morrison, and Darling Homes is a division of Taylor Morrison, and they're doing things a little bit different here. So what they're doing is they're actually offering $50,000 your way for financing. So you can use that for a temporary buy down, such as a 2-1 buy down, as I discussed earlier. You can also use it to pay discount points. Those discount points could go towards a permanent rate buy down, similar to what Highland were doing to lock that lower rate in for the life of your loan. You can also use some of those funds to pay for a year of HOA dues. You can use it for closing costs. You can use it for lot premiums or even for options. So Taylor Morrison have approached this a little bit different. Rather than just focusing in on the financing, they're broadening that out and saying, we're going to offer up to $50,000 for you to use your way. So there's an awful lot of flexibility with those. Now, if you can couple what they're doing with discounts that they're offering on quick move-in homes, then you're going to get the best of both worlds. So look here, this is in Fields. It's part of their Darling Home collection. This is a home that was listed for $909,035, and they have recently reduced the price $115. So that price is now down to $794 for a home in Fields, and that $50,000 incentive to be used your way is available on this particular home. Now, as you can see, most of the builders are doing the exact same thing here, and they are in fact challenging or attacking, if you like, the mortgage rate, because they do know that that makes the biggest difference overall. Now, this was not by any means supposed to be an all-inclusive list. There are other builders that are doing similar things. I checked this morning, American Legend. They were not offering any financing incentives as of this point in time, at least on the couple of communities I looked at, but I know many of the other builders are. Now, if you want to actually save even more and get the best possible deal ever, then if you can couple these interest rate buy downs, these lower interest rates, with a quick move-in home, then you are going to get the absolute best deal available in today's marketplace. On a quick move-in home, as you know, the builders are going to be the most negotiable. They do not like having finished inventory just sitting. So they are going to be more willing to negotiate on the price of the home on that quick move-in home. You get a deal like that and couple that with these interest rate incentives that they're offering, and you are absolutely on your way, and you're going to know that you've done the best you can in the current market. So hopefully you found this information useful and helpful. If you have any questions whatsoever, I invite you to reach out. Other thing you can always do is go ahead and scan this QR code. This QR code right here is going to give you access to my calendar, which will allow you to schedule a free 30-minute consultation. During that call, there's no obligation whatsoever. We'll go over what your requirements are, what you're looking for, and then I can help you provide options, or I can provide you options on what the different buildings and communities are that will best suit your needs. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me here today. Now, don't go anywhere because I know you're going to enjoy one of these videos coming up next.
I I but who's the